Last planner in construction, crew preparation huddle. Get crews ready for flow. I'm super stoked about this video. As you know, we're going through 20 videos on the last planner system step by step. And up to this point, we have covered everything from the master schedule all the way to the morning worker huddle, which should be a part of the last planner system. And if you want to know all the improvements to the last planner system, check out the book, The 10 Improvements to the Last Planner System. I know you're going to love it. We also have a book called Pull Planning for Builders, which expounds on how to do pull planning right, which I think you will absolutely love. So right now I'm going to talk about the crew preparation huddle. So let me just be a little theatrical here, but I'm not faking it. Like, this is how I really like to show up. So let's say in the last planner system, you've already been through the deliverables, you've already been through the master schedule, the pull plan, the look ahead plan, the weekly work plan, the day plan, which sounds like a lot, but this is what it takes to actually collaborate. And now you've communicated, because yesterday afternoon, we coordinated the plan of the day with the foreman in the afternoon foreman huddle. And today we just communicated to all of the workers within a functional area from the parking lot to the morning worker huddle, and then they can go do their work. So every worker was just a part of an entire functional area morning worker huddle meeting. And now it's time for us as workers, lead persons, and crew leaders, or the foreman, to go huddle with our own crews. This is where we're at right now as a part of the last planner system. And the crew preparation huddle is key. And this is very much how we implement lean systems and the Paul Akers method into construction. So I want to talk a little bit about this. When we talk about last planner, and I'm going to do a little bit of abbreviation because you're smart and you know this, but we go from the master schedule to the pull plan, to the look ahead plan, to the weekly work plan, to the day plan, and then that day plan is communicated to, I'm going to call this crew planning, okay? Now, this is a really neat way to look at it from a deliverable standpoint. But let's look at it from a scheduling or calendaring standpoint. Monday through Friday, the first thing that the project delivery team will do, this is called their team weekly tactical. Either at the same time or that same afternoon, they do what's called the strategic planning and procurement meeting. This happens once a week. This is where they're looking at the long-term strategic plan and aligning procurement. This then enables the project team to do what's called the trade partner weekly tactical. I like to do this in the afternoon on a Tuesday. This is where you do maybe your ad hoc pull planning. You can do pull planning at different times, but this is definitely where you do look ahead planning, weekly work planning. Then that enables every day for the job site team to do afternoon foreman huddles, and this happens every day. That afternoon foreman huddle is where you create the plan for the next day and communicate it in the morning worker huddle. I love these sketches. And this morning worker huddle is where you create one social group where everybody can see as a group, know as a group, act as a group, and access the visual information, everything out of the super's head, out, nothing in their head. And after that meeting, now the crews are on their own. So technically, this is the project delivery team's meeting anyway, and all we've asked the trades to do is to do short interval planning, plan every day, and for the job site team to understand the plan. And I want you to know, this is a little bit of name dropping, but they do this in Japan. And they have finished projects earlier and they have half as many accidents. So if you're like lean, Toyota, Japan, this is how they do it. They do it with this morning worker huddle, and they have the foreman huddles in the afternoon. These are improvements we have to make to the last planner system to make sure that it's viable. And so this crew preparation huddle, imagine that you're out here on the floor on a building. You will have crews working through the building in different zones. So let's say this is zone 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say that a crew goes from this huddle and then huddles themselves. This is so good. Let's say that the trailer complex, where you did the weekly team meeting, the strategic planning and procurement meeting, the trade partner weekly tactical, afternoon foreman huddle, all happened in the trailer. And then let's say that this is the parking lot. Workers move over here, and then here's our morning worker huddle boards and all of the most important people on the site, but I'm drawing them as little stick figures. These are the workers, and you're presenting in a respectful, looking up to them way, the plan for the day in the morning worker huddle. This is where one crew will come out and go to their area, and where the foreman can take the opportunity to orient their crew. Now, I've always made this mandatory by contract because this is the lean way to do it. Because everything should be, we plan before we go into the zone, we build while we're in the zone, and then we finish and reflect once we're done with the zone. One piece, one process, one progress flow. What I like to do when I'm leading a project site is not only will these foremen receive training with the crews, not only will we 5S, meaning teach them to 5S their gang boxes, their connexes, their trucks and everything, but they will have crew boards, and we'll link you to those crew boards in the description below. And these workers will not be passive bystanders. They will on this board have the look ahead, the weekly work plan, the day plan, and then visual maps on this board so that the foreman can say, hey team, let's plan the work for the zone with this work package in this zone for the day. Let's go ahead and make sure it's visual and out of the foreman's head out. And then when they're done, you do a reflection. And so this crew preparation huddle on the back side of these board formats, there's actually an agenda for this, and the crew preparation huddle is where you'll do a stretch and flex if you want, you'll go over specific training, you will observe the area, you will fill out your pre-task plan, and you will literally huddle and teach the crew and make sure everybody's clear, and you will draw on this board and make sure that you are getting feedback from the workers and that you are teaching and developing people every day. Remember that lean is about having the lean operating system. The leader is engaged with it and leading it, and we're developing people. Having visuals at all of these other steps, but not getting it down to the worker is like swimming across a mile-wide channel and drowning 5 feet from shore. We've got to make sure that the look ahead, weekly work plan, day plan, and the visuals are getting all the way to the crew, and that crew has time to go ahead and set up. And I've always encouraged, and on the actual templates, we have on the back what 5S means and the 8 wastes, and that's where we implement these Paul Akers methods and where we do improvement videos, before and after videos, and where we really 5S and look for waste and set up our day. This is where the Paul Akers 2-second lean method is implemented in construction. And this is absolutely phenomenal. We've got to get it in the next 5 to 10 years or sooner in construction. We've got to get to this place. In the book, Task Steering and Control, we have a complete list of agendas, guides, all of the boards, everything free. And if you want to know why this improvement is crucial to the last planner system, that book is called The 10 Improvements to the Last Planner System. You've got to check it out. Oh, we have clients and partners that are doing this to great success. And this is where, as Hal Macomer always talks about, we've got to make sure it's at the right level, and we've got to be able to pull the end on and stop work when it's not right. This is the level where we do that. And this is where we engage with zone control. I'm going to put this into a blog post for you, link you to all of the graphics, but the crew preparation huddle is led by the trade foreman, happens after the worker huddle, and then we engage, and I put it in the contract that we are going to spend 5 or 10 minutes doing that, the worker huddle and the crew huddle, and we will get more done in 7.5 hours than you would in 8 hours with no strategic start. I've never had a trade pay me or charge me for this with a change order, and I've never had a trade not say that this improved their productivity and the well-being of their people. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.